Peanut Trust.
From the Rockland County Business Journal.
Who got it?
What's going on?
Well, busy week as always. Never a dull moment in Rockland County. So after 6 years, a developer has finally received a special permit from the Clarkstown Planning Board to build senior housing on the former Shimp Farm property. That's in West Nyack.
Right.
Shimp Farm is an 8-acre piece of land that was previously owned by, I guess, one of Rockland's last farming families. And it was sold many years ago to a developer. And after many iterations, because the proposal winds back to 2014, finally the company J. Thies of Jackla Construction Corporation has finally been given the green light to move forward to build a 127 units of 55-plus senior housing, a clubhouse, and 216 parking spaces. This, I guess, it's interesting because it does fill in a large tract of land, and it also attracted a lot of opposition from the activist group Coupon, as well as I guess, residents in the surrounding area. Their objection was that they did not feel that a dense development fit in with the, with the area of largely single-family homes, and they, most of all, and I guess understandably, came out with their objections against traffic along that southeast corner of Parrott Road and Germans Road. That said, the town of Clarkstown's latest comprehensive plan has promoted that spot specifically for senior housing. Its plan, the comprehensive plan, in 2014, Clarkstown amended its zoning code to allow for 700 units of senior citizen housing town-wide. I think that everybody is probably in agreement that that's something that we need that's needed in Clarkstown. So far, about 300 units have been spoken for before this project. So the project is still, well in under the cap of these 700 units. Now, the Shimp Farm is zoned R22, or single-family housing, but which is, this is why they needed to go and get a special permit. And the zoning code allows for these senior citizen projects so long as a bunch of conditions are met. And those include doesn't cause traffic congestion, doesn't adversely affect the property or values in the area, doesn't affect negatively impact water supply, waste, health and safety issues. The opponents, and there were many, there were I think 150 in all when you count both in person and on the phone for the meeting last week, couldn't convince the planning board that those very issues, which are the issues that they raised in addition to a 1,000-name petition, that they were enough of a reason for the planning board to ultimately deny this special permit. And the planning board also overrode the concerns of the Rockland County Planning Board, which they served up a blistering list of objections or concerns about the project, including calling it a, quote, cookie-cutter development and unimaginative. So with all that opposition, but with 6 years at the table, finally the planning board voted 6-1 in favor of this special permit. It does still need to go to be reviewed by the Tree Preservation Plan and also the town's Architectural Historical Review Board. But I think it's safe to say that the former Schimpf Farm will become 55-plus housing for 127 units. I think it was 7 buildings in all.
So this isn't like an assisted living type of center. This is housing, right?
Yeah, this is, I think it's 7 units of townhouses. Wait, I have it somewhere here. It's, I think it's, 7 units of a total of 127 units for, 55-plus senior housing. And, 55 plus, I mean, at 55, people are still, as some people pointed out, people are still perfectly viable and still in the workforce and still out and about. But the thing about 55 plus is that you can't have children living there. It has to be 55 plus. So I think, the upside is that it's not any sort of a strain on the school system. But it does put, something fairly dense. Well, one of the concessions that was part of, I think, what took so long is that the project was moved back to have a 75-foot buffer all around. So, even though it is denser than the surrounding single-family homes, at least there's going to be a reasonable buffer around the project. And also, there are several schools in the area, so it's not just.
Yeah, that's right by Felix Festa and right by Bosse's, and Albertus Magnus is up the street, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it's a whole school area.
Right. So it won't be the only sort of dense development in that area. It's obviously it's not a single family home, and I suppose having just single family homes there was probably not worth it to a developer. But there was a lot of opposition, and like I said, there was a petition of nearly 1,000 names against it. But the planning board members just seemed to really say that they just didn't feel like they had anywhere to go to deny this one. I think whenever they have, to their credit, whenever there is a big turnout and a lot of opposition, I think that they definitely weigh that in their decision. But I think what was persuasive in this case, and I think this is interesting, is that in a sense they were really following Clarkstown's mandate. That spot specifically had been targeted for senior housing in this most recent comprehensive plan. So I think that they felt more leeway to say that this is what this piece of land should be used for. So that's where it went, and the decision was made, and the meeting didn't end until almost midnight. So it was everybody was heard, and that's I mean, wouldn't it be great if we could maintain our farms? But we don't have farms anymore. We have two farms left here, maybe a couple of hobby farms. We just we're not an agricultural county anymore. I'm sure that there is nostalgia over that, but this has been 6 years pending, and it's right now it's just empty land, so that just doesn't make sense either. So that's where it stands.
And you have full details on, or as much as have become available in your publication, which is online at WRCR-1700-AM, right?
We also covered a couple of interesting lawsuits last week, so if you sign on, take a look. There's a lawsuit against the subcontractor who built the Bosse's swimming pool, and there's also a lawsuit regarding a company called Kosher Ski Tours has sued Okemo for canceling their reservations. So check out the publication. Sign up for your free daily email subscription, and see you next week.
All right, you got it. Thanks.